Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Flame Entertainment and Sports. It's your boy Rob here. Thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Before we get started, make sure to check us out on Instagram and TikTok at the Flame_ES. Had a lot of nice content for you all this past weekend. Due to the AFC Championship game, we have a lot of Taylor and Travis content, and this coming Sunday we have the Grammys, so we're gonna have you covered there on Instagram as well. And then the following Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, so some more Taylor and Travis content coming to y'all as well. And for all of you who have interacted, liked, saved, shared, commented with our stuff, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So now to get into what we're going to cover on today's show. So in the entertainment world, we're going to focus, we're going to do a little preview on the Grammys, which occurred this Sunday night, as I just stated. They're going to be live at 8 p.m. Eastern time on CBS and Paramount Plus. So make sure to check it out. And, we get into the nominees and, some of the performers for the Grammys. Then also we finish off in the entertainment world with a little update on the Blake Lively Justin Baldoni lawsuit drama, as audio message was recently released by TMZ, that an audio message from Baldoni to Lively while they're in the middle of filming. It ends with us. It was obtained by TMZ, and we put it out on our Instagram as well. So yeah, I give some thoughts on that. And then in the sports world, we cover the NFC Championship, where we saw the Eagles take down the Commanders. We cover the AFC Championship, where we saw, Kansas City take down Buffalo. And then we give an early Super Bowl prediction preview type of thing. I kind of go into what I'm mainly focusing on in this matchup coming up between the Eagles and the Chiefs. And with all that said, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Now let's get into it. All right, guys. So the first topic that we're covering on today's episode will be the Grammy Awards, which will be occurring this Sunday night. I'm going to kind of go over the performers and, all the nominees for the 2025 Grammy Awards. I'm going to open it up here in the official Grammy website, Grammy.com. So we're going to go over now all the nominees for the 2025 Grammy Awards. So, we have Record of the Year. Obviously, I'm not going to go, name by name or category by category, because if not, I'd be here for hours, and I feel like it'd be pretty boring. But let's start off here with Record of the Year. There's some interesting nominees here. We have Sabrina Carpenter with Espresso. I think, that's obviously well-deserved when you think of the popularity of that song in 2024 and how big it was. And there's another one here that really sticks out that was huge. Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish, and, Good Luck Babe by Chappell Roan. I would say those are my top three in Record of the Year. We also have Beyonce with Texas Hold'em. We have Taylor Swift and Post Malone with Fortnite. And then we have 360 by Charlie XCX. And then, Not Like Us, Kendrick Lamar song that, he dissed Drake or whatever. And then the one other nominee here is kind of weird for me, I'm not going to lie. It's called Now and Then by the Beatles. And I looked that up. I'm like, what? How are the Beatles nominated, for a Grammy, right? In 2025. Okay. So it says the song was the first AI-assisted song to receive a Grammy nomination. Honestly, don't get me wrong. I'm not like a friggin' music expert or Grammy expert or anything like that. But I find it super strange that an AI-assisted song by a band whose most members that have passed away is nominated for Record of the Year, when you have so many artists that are so well deserving and aren't doing this with AI. They're actually doing it all themselves, and with their teams. And I'm not trying to like call out the Beatles or anything, but I just find it super fishy that the Beatles are nominated for a Record of the Year in the Grammys in 2025. I don't think it should be allowed. I'm not gonna lie. I just see it kind of as a attention grabbing type of thing by the Grammys, trying to bring in an audience of Beatles fans, I guess. But I really don't understand that. But like I said, obviously I'm not an expert in this, so perhaps this is like a normal thing. Okay, then we go to Album of the Year. We have Beyonce with Cowboy Carter, the country album she did. Andre 3000 with New Blue Sun. I didn't even know Andre 3000 was still doing music, but good for him. We have a couple other ones here. Oh, okay, Torture Poet's Apartment by Taylor Swift. Obviously, that makes sense. We have Chappell Roan, The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess. Makes sense. Billie Eilish with Hit Me Hard and Soft. We have Brat by Charlie XCX. Then we have one by Jacob Collier. I'm not sure who that is. And then we have, Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter. I would say of all those albums, Short and Sweet and Short and Sweet's the one I've listened to the most, along obviously along with Torture Poets Department. And then Chappell Roan's album I've listened to here and there, but I've really listened mostly there to Short and Sweet and to the Torture Poets Department. Then we have Song of the Year, another big category. We have a bar song by Shabuzi. That's a nice song. Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish. Die with a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. I haven't really heard that song, but congrats to them. We have Fortnite once again. We have Good Luck Babe once again. Not Like Us once again. Texas Hold'em once again. And then Please 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 by Sabrina Carpenter. So it's an interesting category. Of all those songs, the one I like the most is Please Please Please. I also, I enjoy Fortnite as well. And Good Luck Babe, I like a lot. A bar song by Shabuzi is really good too. But yeah, let's kind of scroll over through the rest of these categories. 'Cause I don't want to bore anyone out there because I'm kind of just like reading it, and I don't want it to be just like an informative type of thing. I want to make it, somewhat entertaining. Best New Artist, we have a couple cool nominees here, including we have Sabrina Carpenter nominated, Chappell Roan nominated, Benson Boone. It's pretty cool. Like Benson Boone opened for Taylor Swift on the Eras Tour. A couple shows only in London. Obviously, Sabrina Carpenter was the opener on the Eras Tour for a long time. And then Chappell Roan, is the opening act for most of the Guts World Tour shows of Olivia Rodrigo. So we'll see who wins that category. And we have some other, producer and songwriter type of categories here as well. We have, I thought this one was cool. Best Pop Duo / Group Performance. Us by Gracie Abrams and Taylor Swift is nominated. So I hope they win that one. I really love that song. Sabrina Carpenter and Chappell Roan are nominated once again, along with Taylor Swift and Billie Eilish for Best Pop Vocal Album. And Ariana Grande is also in there with Eternal Sunshine. I could go on and on, but I don't want to bore the people. So now let's see who's going to be performing at the Grammys this year. So we have a returning host, Trevor Noah. Then some of the performers, we have Benson Boone, Billie Eilish, Chappell Roan. We have Charlie XCX, Cynthia Erivo from the Wicked movie. We also have Lainey Wilson, who's a great country singer. I'm a big fan of her. We have Shakira coming, Sheryl Crow. That's pretty cool. Stevie Wonder, the legend. And then my favorite performer, or the one I'm most excited for, is Sabrina Carpenter, along with Chappell Roan as well. I love watching both of those women perform. I think they do an amazing job. I did think that Taylor Swift was going to perform. At first, I didn't think so. But then I thought I saw a commercial this past weekend of her being a performer. But perhaps it was just them promoting that she'll be in attendance. And then I was reading yesterday as well that Olivia Rodrigo is expected to be in attendance at the Grammys as well. Now let me get you guys like the time and where to watch it and all that stuff. So yeah, I know it'll be Sunday night. I believe it's at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Let me check it out just to make sure. Okay, it'll be on CBS and Paramount Plus. Yeah, Sunday, February 2nd, at 8 o'clock. And I'm sure you can see some red carpet shows probably like on YouTube and E and all those platforms leading up to the award show. So yeah, it'll be Sunday 8 p.m. Eastern time in LA. So there's gonna be a lot of stuff about all the fires that have gone on in California, and so it should be a nice 2025 Grammy Awards. But yeah, with all that said, I think I'm gonna wrap up my coverage there of the Grammys. I don't think there's much else for me to say. And like I said, I don't want to bore you guys out there. I just I at least want to do some type of little preview for the Grammys. But yeah, to wrap it up, I will say, yeah, I already said it, but I'm most excited to watch Sabrina Carpenter and Chappell Roan perform. Of all the artists nominated, or of all the artists that are performing, those are the two that I listen to the most. Like, obviously, if Taylor Swift and Olivia Rodrigo were performing, I'd be super excited as well, because I listen to Olivia basically every day. Her music, I listen to Taylor's music basically every day as well. But yeah, it's gonna be fun, to see Sabrina, to see Chappell Roan, and everyone else as well. I hope they all do a great job. And yeah, make sure to tune in once again on CBS and Paramount Plus Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time to watch the 2025 Grammy Awards. Now, to stick in the entertainment space, we're gonna talk a little bit as we have an update on the Blake Lively Justin Baldoni lawsuit drama. Some more evidence was released this week by Justin's team and obtained by TMZ. So shout out to TMZ. They're the ones that put this out there. So as part of evidence on Baldoni's side, his team released the audio message that he sent to Blake back when they're filming It Ends With Us. It was around a 7.5 minute long audio message he sent to her, basically, thanking her for her creativity and her talent, and that he's so, grateful to be working with her, and she's lucky to have two people around her like Ryan and Taylor that help her out, and that they're three of the most creative people and talented people on the planet. So it was a really uplifting message that Justin sent. There is one part of it that people are criticizing and that you see a lot of headlines focusing on, but I think the headlines are kind of misleading. I saw one from E that was very misleading. So what they put as a headline that described the audio message was Justin Baldoni mentions Blake Lively's breast in audio message. Basically, that's what E put out. And don't get me wrong, he does mention her breast, right? But it's like towards the end of the message, and he's basically saying like, oh, I'm sure you have, running around, the kids are running around you, or you have a kid on your boob, or he just mentions it like that. I think in a way where, like he appreciates her, like listening to the message, even though like he imagines she's like super busy being a mother. And from hearing it, that's kind of how I felt from it. I didn't see anything like harmful behind that or any bad intentions behind him saying that. I think people need to go and check it out for themselves rather than reading headlines. I think you got to listen to it, and then you could judge it however you want. I understand the people that find it weird that he mentioned it. I'm not like trying to call those people out. Obviously, it's not like some people find it kind of creepy that he mentioned that, and that's fine to think that. But I would prefer for people to listen to the audio message themselves rather than judging it based on a headline they read from a news outlet who's just trying to get clicks at the end of the day. So yeah, we did post the audio clip from TMZ on our Instagram at @theflame_ES. So make sure to go check it out and have a listen to it for yourself. And it also has captions on the video as well. So that's super cool that TMZ, decided to do that. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much going to wrap it up in entertainment. This is not going to be a super long episode in general, even with the sports section, because we have a second bonus episode coming out on Friday about college football, like a little season recap with Paul. So this is not going to be a super long episode. So yeah, that's going to wrap it up. If you guys have any thoughts or anything you're excited about with the Grammys, let us know on Instagram. And yeah, make sure, to keep up Sunday. We're going to be posting a lot of content and reels on there, like I said. And also, yeah, if you guys have any thoughts on this audio message from Justin Baldoni to Blake Lively, let us know. We'd love to hear your opinion on it. And yeah, guys, now we're going to move into the sports world, as I'm going to, primarily be covering this past weekend's NFC Championship game, where we saw the Eagles defeat the Commanders, and ending with the big game, the second most watched non-Super Bowl game ever. 57 million viewers as the Buffalo Bills were defeated by the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, guys, so now to start off for our sports segment, we're going to be focusing mainly here on the NFL playoffs, as the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Washington Commanders by a final score of 55-23, and the Kansas City Chiefs defeated the Buffalo Bills by a final score of 32-29. So our Super Bowl matchup for, this year's Super Bowl is set. We have the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Kansas City Chiefs in New Orleans next Sunday. Not this coming Sunday, the following. And, it should be a great matchup. But we're going to start off first with a little recap of the Washington-Philly game. So, as I said, Philly wins by a final score of 55-23. It was a dominant win from start to finish for the Eagles. My biggest takeaway from this game is that the team that was more disciplined and made less mistakes ended up winning the game. And that was the Eagles in this case. And then you even look at the score, right? You look at the stat sheet and you look at the scores. Even the numbers just jump off to you. Like in the first quarter, for example, Philadelphia came off to a hot start. They outscored Washington 14-3 in the first quarter. Then you go to the second quarter, it was like, okay, they outscored them, but it was 13-12. Then in the third quarter, Washington outscored the Eagles 8-7. But then in the fourth quarter, Philly outscored Washington 21-0. So, it was one of those games where I felt like Washington, the mistakes they continued to make just kept coming back to haunt them. And ultimately, Philadelphia didn't make those same mistakes. They just stayed disciplined. They took advantage of the turnovers, and they just did what they had to do. The game started off with a super impressive opening drive by Washington. They took almost 9 minutes off the clock, I believe. They drove straight down the field. They converted 2 4th downs, but ultimately they only ended up with 3 points, which was fine in my opinion. I'm like, this is a rookie quarterback leading his team down the field in his first ever NFC Championship appearance. So I was impressed that they got points at all in that first drive. Then Philadelphia, first play of the game on offense, the arguably the best player in the league this year, their running back Saquon Barkley. He takes off for a 60-yard touchdown. So that was really the first snap of the game for Philly. It was a touchdown, and Saquon just continues his historic season. Then Saquon once again on the following drive scored a 4-yard rush. So in the first quarter, Saquon literally had 2 touchdowns already for Philadelphia. Then in the second quarter, Washington did another field goal, and they got their first touchdown of the game on a 36-yard pass from Jaden Daniels to Terry McLaurin. Then, Philadelphia answered back. They scored 2 times in a row before the half. Washington, once again, was held to another field goal. So at halftime, Philly was up 27-15. Then they came out hot out of the gate in the second half. They scored again and make it a 34-15 game. Then Washington, they scored on a 10-yard rush by Jaden Daniels. Then they converted a 2-point conversion. Then in the fourth quarter, it was simply all Philadelphia as they scored 3 touchdowns. And Saquon Barkley added his third rushing touchdown of the game. So, yeah, I just wanted to give you some of the numbers at first. But, yeah, overall, this game to me, what it came down to was that the team with the less mistakes ultimately won the game, and that was Philadelphia, And honestly, I'm super shocked that Philadelphia was able to reach the Super Bowl. If you guys have been keeping up with my thoughts on the playoffs on these episodes the last couple of weeks, you would know that I haven't believed in Philadelphia whatsoever. I'm not the biggest believer in their head coach, Nick Sirianni. But at the end of the day, they keep doing what they have to do. They keep getting the job done and winning, and ultimately making less mistakes than their opponents, right? In this whole playoff run that they've been on. With that said, their next opponent will obviously be the toughest opponent that they've played all of this season, and that is the Kansas City Chiefs, as the Chiefs are once again returning to the Super Bowl, and they have a chance to become the first team in NFL history to win 3 Super Bowls in a row. But that said, now let's transition into an incredible AFC Championship game between the Chiefs and the Bills, where we saw the Chiefs come up on top 32-29. It was a close game throughout. It was neck and neck. Both teams made a lot of big-time plays. There was also some costly turnovers that ultimately cost the Bills in this one, and led Kansas City to a victory over them once again in the playoffs. But yeah, so to get into this game, I mean, as a fan of football, there's nothing more I could have asked for it. This game lived up to, I think, everyone's expectations. I think everyone was super excited for this game in particular, and everyone, you wanted to see Josh Allen play, you wanted to see Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and then you wanted to see, that Kansas City defense led by the best, defensive coordinator in the league with Steve Spagnuolo. And then on the other side, obviously, you have the Bills head coach, Sean McDermott. He's a big defensive guy. And then, of course, Andy Reid, the head coach of the Chiefs. So it was just an all-around battle, I think, that everyone was excited for on all components of the game, if that makes sense, not just on the field, but on the sidelines as well. But yeah, ultimately, I mean, Kansas City does it again. They're my pick to win the Super Bowl going into the playoffs this year. Not going into the season, going into the playoffs, to make it clear. But for those of you who have been following, I picked them to win it, and I'm sticking with my pick. I think they're going to beat the Eagles and become the first team in NFL history to complete a three-peat. But now I'm going to kind of go over the numbers a little bit and kind of like what happened in the game. So let's do a little how I kind of did with Philadelphia and Washington. So yeah, Kansas City started off the game. They drove straight down the field. They got the ball first, and it ended on a 12-yard rushing touchdown by Kareem Hunt. Then the Bills are able to answer back, not with a touchdown, but with a 53-yard field goal by Tyler Bass to make it 7-3 at the end of the first. Then the Bills come out hot out of the gate the second quarter as they take a 10-7 lead on a 6-yard rushing touchdown by James Cook, who, by the way, in my opinion, James Cook this year solidified himself as one of the top running backs in all of football. He had an incredible season. So, shout out to James Cook, the Miami boy right there. Then the Chiefs were able to answer back, as always. I mean, as per usual, you want to say, on an 11-yard touchdown pass from Mahomes to rookie wideout Xavier Worthy to make it a 14-10 game. Then they scored another touchdown on a 1-yard rush by Patrick Mahomes to make it 21-10. Then with a little over 20 seconds left in the first half, Buffalo scored on a beautiful 34-yard pass from Josh Allen to Matt Collins, the former Dolphin. Shout out to Matt Collins. He's had a super under the radar type of year for Buffalo. He was a huge contributor for them. So Buffalo was able to make it a 21-16 game. Then they went for the 2-point conversion to try to make it a 3-point game, but that conversion did not work out. So at halftime, the Chiefs were up 21-16. Then the third quarter, there's only one score, which is kind of mind-blowing to think about, but much credit to both defensive units on each side, right? But Buffalo scored the only touchdown of the third quarter on a 1-yard rush by James Cook. They went for a 2-point conversion, and they failed on it once again. So Buffalo was up by 1 heading into the fourth quarter. Then the fourth quarter, first drive, Mahomes and the Chiefs go down the field. Mahomes has his second rushing touchdown of the game, a 10-yard rush. And then they convert on a pass from Mahomes to Justin Watson for a 2-point conversion to make it 29-22. Buffalo ties the game with 6 minutes left, make it 29-29 on a 4-yard pass from Josh Allen to Curtis Samuel. Then with 3 minutes and 33 seconds left, Harrison Butker nails the eventual game-winning 35-yard field goal to give the Chiefs a 32-29 lead and victory. And, Buffalo got the ball back, with 3 minutes left, but ultimately they were stopped by this Kansas City Chiefs defense that, like I said, is led by the best defensive coordinator in all of football, and Steve Spagnuolo. Spags just always knows how to shut down the opponent and how to force their hand in terms of completely, knocking out their best attribute and making them try to beat you in other ways that ultimately don't lead them to wins. I don't know if what I just said perhaps it doesn't make sense, but basically what I'm saying, Spagnuolo is a master at completely Xing out the main thing that makes you great, right? And he forced you to beat him in ways that you're not really used to beating people, if that makes sense. So I think Spagnuolo just did an incredible job in this one. He ultimately, he called the right scheme. He called the right defensive plays to shut down this Buffalo Bills offense led by arguably, the best quarterback in the sport right now, Josh Allen. I still give the nod to Mahomes, but I understand the people who say Allen's the best one out there. He had another incredible season, but ultimately the Chiefs came through once again, came through victorious. And, just now to give a quick little Super Bowl preview. Obviously, next week I'll do a bigger episode focusing on the Super Bowl, being that it's actually next week, and I don't want to get too far ahead. But just to give a little preview as to my thoughts going into the Super Bowl matchup between Kansas City. Actually, before that, let me read you some of the numbers as well, though. Let me read you some of these numbers. So Patrick Mahomes in this one, he threw for 245 yards, ran for 43, had a touchdown through the air and 2 on the ground. Kareem Hunt had a touchdown in the game. Josh Allen had 237 yards passing, 39 on the ground, and 2 touchdowns. Yes, I just wanted to read you some of the numbers. And something I want to point out as well, that other guys stepped up in this one for Kansas City. In the previous matchup against the Houston Texans, it was the majority of the offense was Mahomes to Kelsey. And this one, it was a complete opposite, as Kelsey only had 2 catches in this game. But look, Xavier Worthy, the rookie, he had 6 catches for 85 yards and a touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster, who hasn't done much in a while, 2 catches for 60 yards. Hollywood Brown started off the game with, I think, the first 2 catches of the game. He ended with 3 catches for 35 yards. Samaje Perine was involved. Isaiah Pacheco, DeAndre Hopkins, Kareem Hunt in the receiving game as well. So I love that Kansas City was able to spread the ball and show you that they're an all-around group, and it's not just Mahomes and Kelsey and Andy Reid. It's an all-around thing, and a lot of that credit has to go to Andy Reid for putting up the right game plan and putting his guys in the best possible position to succeed. That's what a great coach does, and that's what he does week in and week out. So now to give my quick little preview and early takes on the upcoming Super Bowl matchup between the Chiefs and Eagles. The biggest battle here I'm looking at in this matchup is the coaching battle. A lot of people tend to focus on the quarterbacks, the running backs. Like, everyone's going crazy right now about Saquon Barkley, that the Eagles are unstoppable, right? Because their running game is amazing. I agree. They have the best running game in the league. So people are like, oh, but how are the Chiefs going to stop the running game? And then, they have the number 1 ranked defense in the NFL, and they do. And Vic Fangio, the defense coordinator, former Dolphin one from last year, he's done a great job completely turned around that whole Philadelphia Eagles defensive unit. You got to give him all the credit in the world. With all that said, the biggest matchup I'm looking at in the Super Bowl is the coaching battle. And you have Andy Reid, arguably the best play caller in the league, best head coach in football. And then you have the best defensive coordinator in all of football, and Steve Spagnuolo on that Chiefs staff. I'm not trying to take away, like I said, Vic Fangio has done an incredible job with the Eagles defense. He's obviously experienced, obviously been coaching for many years. But then Nick Sirianni, right? I'm not taking away anything from him. The guy has an incredible record. All he's done in Philadelphia really is win. But with that said, there's still Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo, and that's the main reason I'm going with Kansas City. Is because of Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo. Obviously, as well, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, Trent McDuffie, all these guys obviously are incredible talents, incredible players, and I love watching them all. I'm not trying to take away from the players or anything like that, but I think a lot of times people don't focus enough on the coaching. And I might be old school in that approach, but in sports, not just in football, basketball as well, all the sports, I emphasize coaching a lot, and I look at the importance of coaching a lot. I tend to bring up in any sports conversation or argument I'm having, I tend to always go back to Eric Spoelstra and the Miami Heat, because Eric Spoelstra is one of those coaches that whoever you give him, he's going to do everything in his power to put each one of those players in the best possible position for them to succeed. And I think in this matchup, that's exactly what Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo are not only doing now, but have done for years and years and years. And they're two of the main reasons why Kansas City's been able to create this dynasty and why they're on the verge of becoming the first team in league history to complete a three-peat. So with that said, guys, I'm going to wrap up this sports section. And please stay tuned next week as we're going to have a big Super Bowl preview episode for you all out there. If you guys have any early Super Bowl thoughts or predictions that you want to share with us, make sure to hit us up on Instagram. We'd love to hear your opinion. Make sure to hit us up there at @theflame_ES. With all that said, it's going to wrap up our sports segment for today's show. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of The Flame Entertainment and Sports. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed hearing our Grammys preview, our update on Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, our recap on the Eagles beating Washington, on the Chiefs beating the Bills, and I hope you guys enjoyed my early Super Bowl preview there. As I stated in the sports section, make sure to stay tuned next week as we'll have a bigger Super Bowl preview for you all. And yeah, with all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Share it with anyone that you think would enjoy hearing about any of these topics. Once again, follow us on Instagram at @theflame_ES. Until next time, everybody, take care.